Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, and innovation come together. My name is Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Toni Nijm, the co-founder of Righthub. Toni, great seeing you, my friend, and welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Likewise, good to see you.
Great seeing you. Let's dive with some questions and then we have a conversation going here. Let's start first with the Righthub. Could you tell us the inspiration and mission behind the Righthub and what sets it apart from the other platforms in the industry?
Yes, of course. Well, I've been in this space for many years now, almost 20 years, and I mean, IP or intellectual property is a great framework for innovators to protect what they spend their lifetime building, typically, and companies' investments. The problem with it's quite complex, not very accessible, especially for smaller businesses, and that's something we want to do something about to democratize it, make it very easy, accessible to as many people as possible. That's one thing. The other thing is because of all the complexities in legal frameworks across the world, one of the things that transpired over the years is that a lot of the budgets and the money spent is actually spent on activities that are not very value adding. And that is definitely something we want to change. A lot of administration and emailing back and forth and papers and what have you. And there's really very little reason to a lot of that nowadays. So we're deploying different technologies in our platform and ways of changing how activities are done to reduce those administrative tasks.
Nice. And in terms of the landscape that you're in right now. You're in the IP and the also the on the creative ideas. Is that right? Or
We're focused on intellectual property, mainly on patents, trademarks, design rights. Our platform is used for everything from copyrights, domain names as well, innovation, capture, and workflows. And it's used by both law firms and corporates in different ways. The landscape today is, I mean, the industry in general, most of the software has been built over time, have become more point solutions. So you buy software internally for a law firm or corporate to manage your portfolio, your assets, and everything around it. But 70-80% of the activities happening on a daily basis are actually collaborations with other parties outside of your organization. Is in networks across countries in the world, and that's something that we want to bridge and make it a lot easier to deal with.
Great. So, what challenges have you faced in scaling and growing Righthub, and how have you addressed them with creative solutions?
Yeah, challenges from many businesses I've seen in the past is mainly people. Honestly, it's always getting people to see things the same way, to collaborate towards the same targets and the same objectives, if you will. At the end of the day, building products and launching products, that becomes mechanical after a while. There's always challenges with it and processes around it. How do you work closer with customers? But adding the right people into the teams and making them work together is always the most challenging part. So it's all about the communication. And I always feel that we're, irrespective of how often and how much you do of that, you're always too short. You always need to do a lot more, especially if you're growing rapidly and you're adding more people as we go. Almost every week, new people or new individuals are coming into the teams and in different countries and different cultures. That is quite interesting challenge. So you just need to keep communicating, asking people to communicate, understanding cultural differences between countries, which is also not very easy to do
Yeah.
sometimes. Strategies from that perspective, talk to customers, talk to each other every day. Like, you have to do that. Don't just sit in front of your screen and hope that things are going to be resolved.
Yeah. What trends and innovation do you foresee shaping the future IP and the platforms like Righthub?
Yeah, so there are a few things that started happening quite a while ago. If you look back 10, 20, 30 years, and before that, of course, the patent and trademark offices, the actual authorities in each country have been all paper and fax based. And because most of the communication is happening with these authorities, either directly or through law firms or across the world, you can imagine the amount of administrative activities that have to take place. What we're seeing over the past really the past 10 years and accelerating more now is digitization of those patent trademark offices to allow APIs and web communication with them. That will simplify quite a bit. It's not going to happen all overnight, but it's accelerating, at least for the biggest patent trademark offices. AI, everyone's talking about AI, of course. Our industry is very much in the hotspot, if you will, in the legal tech space. What do attorneys do quite often is, of course, creating language and text and words to describe innovation and argue about why this invention is actually new and how does it compare to the prior art, and analyzing documents in general. So AI will be a huge added value in terms of a tool or a co-pilot, as everyone keeps saying in most industries, to help speed up these processes. So hopefully, over the next few years, we're going to see AI being extremely supportive in spurring many more innovations and bringing down the cost of actually filing and upholding patents quite massively, actually. Which also will help attorneys to be a lot more, not only efficient, but also more creative. They work with many different customers with different technologies, and they have a lot of ideas, many of them. I think they could be used a lot more efficiently, a lot more proactively in the innovation cycle, actually.
Yeah. Well, digital landscape is growing rapidly. What strategies have you employed to encourage creativity and innovation within your team?
Good Lord, yeah, we try as much as we can, utilizing both data and open platforms, AI across the whole company. What can we use today? What do we think we can use in the future? We don't really need to build or rebuild things that people have done in the past. We can take inspiration from many other industries where things have worked really well. And combine not specifically just product features, but also ways and business models and ways of doing things in a network environment. Our industry is very network based in a global context. So just telling people to get mentorship from external forces, from other industries, internally, having meetups and conversations, taking a step back every now and then, albeit in a startup, everything is always going very, very fast and you need to deliver to survive. And it's always finding that balance is the most important part.
Yeah. Leadership is hard. How do you adapt to your leadership approach to stay agile and responsive to change that we're seeing now? It's happening every single day.
Oh, that's a fun one. I mean, there's really no other way. For me, it's two things. You got to keep learning every single day, literally. I know there's not a lot of time. I definitely don't have a lot of time, but I force myself to consume some new bits of information every single day in different domains, on a very detailed level, actually, sometimes, to just be able to understand what is applicable to us now versus in the future. Sharing that information, whether it's podcasts or YouTube videos or books or whatever, with my team, depending on interest and usability for them. And then talking to others, like-minded. As yesterday, I was at a meetup with over 1,000 founders and investors together here in Stockholm, and just speaking to different people on different challenges. These kind of meetups are quite important to see what others have in their daily challenges, and helping and getting help from others. That's a great way to resolve things. When you're growing as a company and you're going very fast and you're trying to scale, it's impossible to learn everything on your own. You've got to consume and learn from others as well. that's a great strategy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was once came across how Mark Cuban kind of forced himself to learn new things by reading companies or the products manuals. You go in detail.
Yeah, yeah,
that's that's dedication.
that is dedication. For sure, for sure.
Yeah. Tony, what does bold mean to you? The word bold. What does it mean to you?
Really, I mean, it's all about going for that big moonshot, right? And I've been in a great example here. We've been in this industry or I've been in this industry for 20 years, and it's a very traditional industry per se. It's risk averse. Our competitor, I keep saying, is not the incumbents, it's actually status quo. People in general, in just in our normal lives, are not very willing to change their behavior. We are lazy. Human beings are typically lazy, and to change energy, you need to apply energy, and normally they don't want to do that. So you got to go, and it's very easy for us to just copy what we've done in the past, or what others have done in the past, and I've done that in the past as well in the previous companies. So you can create a nice business out of it. But for us, being bold means that we go for that big moonshot and actually really trying to make a change in this whole industry globally, to actually change the way people communicate with each other, change the way they consume information, and where they focus their time and energy. Bring people to, I've always had this vision. When you are a child, or children in general, they're extreme innovators. The best innovators in the world are when you're young. And as soon as we enter school and work life, we are basically taught to stop innovating because we just sit in a framework and we lose all that. We're not allowed to think too much. You just follow the rules and follow the guidelines and the manuals, and everything will be fine. You want to have more robots than actual innovators. And I hope that we can build something that can bring a normal person, an individual in the future, to actually bring them back into becoming an innovator, give them tools and ways to help them, whether it's AI or anything else, to help them actually create more innovation and predict those inventions without having to spend a lot of time and money on it, but really get the juices in the brain moving. That's kind of like where I want to take this.
Well, you've done it and you keep doing it, and congrats on all your achievements so far, including winning our last Bold fourth edition in a category for marketplaces. So big congrats on that. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to our next conversation in the near future. Take care and be bold always, Tony.
Thank you so much, Happy. Appreciate it.